Hi. So I've tried to make this video a few times tonight, not because it's like overly emotional or anything, even though it is going to touch on some slightly heavy things. But it's just because my cats keep interrupting me and doing weird things, and or my camera will glitch out, or the last time somebody just called me randomly and it just stopped working. So that's cool. It's been going great. But that's okay because I am not making videos like this to be a content creator. I already have a lot on my plate, but I'm kind of using them as like a video diary slash venting thing for myself. And then also, I do also hope that maybe if somebody is randomly on YouTube or something, that if they're looking up certain keywords that relate to what I'm talking about, that maybe my video will just make them feel a little less alone. Because I am a 4-time SA survivor. I have worked as a certified peer support specialist for the past 10 years. So I have some different worldviews that I like to try to help to support people with. And if this is not for you, that's totally okay. It's not going to offend me at all. Just keep moving on, and that's okay. But yeah, so like I said, I'm a multi-time SA survivor. I'm a mom of like the coolest 15-year-old in the world. Um, and I also am just a person that wants us all to support each other more and to be there for one another because, like I said, growing up in a small town in Wisconsin, my group of friends was very tight knit. And like I said, we were the emo kids in high school, very close with each other. You know, we did talk about emotions. It wasn't just a name. We were emotional. We did talk about our feelings. Um, and there's just a lot going on when I was younger. So to make a long story short, when I make videos like this, it's more of a venting thing. Um, but also, yeah, just if somebody sees it, even if it's just one person and they relate to it, that's enough for me. So if that's you, hi, welcome. And if you're a random person that just cancels out of it, that's cool too. I hope you have a beautiful day. But today, like I said, I want to talk about Valentine's Day because growing up, like I said, wasn't very popular. I was an emo kid from MySpace era, like the scene hair and everything. But before that, I was a new student at a Catholic school um, where I was chubby, very thick brows, which were frowned upon in the 90s, if you remember. Um, eventually I had braces, I had split ends for days. I was killing it. Um, wasn't very popular romantically. If I had crushes on people, it was not reciprocated. And, Valentine's Day, the only reason I got Valentine's when I was in Catholic school is because the rule was everybody had to give everyone in the class one. So, otherwise, I'm not going to try to even sound emo like I was. I don't think I would have been getting any. But fast forward to middle school, a little bit rougher. I had transferred from Catholic school over to public school. Um, and at that point, I have changed from a awkward Catholic school girl to a awkward public school girl that was now, like I said, a scene kid in skinny jeans and dyed hair. So of course, I was an ugly freak, you know. So wasn't very popular with men then either. I think this is when I stopped getting Valentines that weren't from my friends because they didn't have the rule that everybody had to get everyone one. And I felt that. So, that's all just like normal young kid stuff. Like, obviously, no one's going to be a Casanova at that age, and I'm aware of that. I don't want anyone to be a Casanova at those ages because, like, again, it's a literal child, but you still have crushes, you still have emotions. You're a hormonal little ball of everything at that age. So obviously you're gonna have crushes and you're gonna want people to like you back and give you Valentines and all that stuff. Um, yeah, so just wasn't a good holiday even when I was younger. But again, I don't really think Valentine's Day is like a holiday for children. I know I get my son presents and stuff because he's my kid. Like my mom always would get us like little dollar store like boxes of chocolates and I do the same thing. It's just the thing we do. So I think that like that's totally fine and normal. But other than that, like Valentine's Day is for partners ideally and whatever. So if you're a kid and you're awkward, don't let it get you down. Eventually, it won't matter because those people will stop talking to you and you'll find a better people and it won't matter. So buy yourself Valentine's Day cards, take the little heart-shaped suckers, eat them to your heart's content. That's what I did, and I turned out just fine. But yeah, so after high school and all of that stuff, which I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit, uh, I had met my son's father. I was 17, he was a couple years older, and I had found out that I was pregnant and everything. Um, so I would have assumed that I was going to get a Valentine's Day present um, and everything, but I did not. And this was after I had already, and I think, I'm sorry, I misspoke because I'm tired. I had already given birth because my son is born in January, so February would have been after. So I had just given him a child um, that I love very much, like I said. But his dad didn't even get me like Valentine's Day stuff or anything like that. And actually, my first Mother's Day ever as well, he didn't get me anything. My mom, on both holidays, actually had to last minute cover for him um, because he asked her to. So she went and got me flowers because he didn't on both of those holidays. So that was my first adult relationship, even though I was 18, so barely an adult. Um, Again, not a good Valentine's Day track record. Uh, and yeah, I mean, the only good boyfriend I have had, or partner, whatever, for Valentine's Day was my ex from like 9 years ago. Very nice person. I hope they're doing great. But other than that, every relationship I've been in or whatever, not good Valentine's Day experiences. My last partner that I was with, the first Valentine's, we were together 3 years. The first Valentine's Day, first of all, this person had strung me along for months and just kept saying they weren't going to date me, which I should have taken as a hint that I should not date this person, but I didn't. Um, and then our first Valentine's Day, I got them a bottle of Dior Sauvage and a card I made handmade of a bunch of Steve Brule jokes and stuff that we made and everything. Uh, and I gave them all this stuff and I made like a home cooked meal and everything. And that person was like, "Oh, I didn't know we were doing gifts." Which, again, looking back in hindsight, why would the person that just spent months telling you you're not going to be together buy you a gift? But because I am a helpless romantic, even though I shouldn't be at this point, I thought, why wouldn't we get each other gifts? It's Valentine's Day. It's our first Valentine's Day together. But that was not the case. And that's okay. Again, they're my ex. Um, but all of that aside, even if you're like, oh, I'm not a gift person, so why do you have to get somebody a gift? The gifts aren't the issues for me. It's that each and every one of these relationships that I was with, it's like they couldn't even try to be present even during the holiday itself. And I know a lot of people, this is a tricky holiday in general because they're like, well, you should love your partner year round, which you should. But I also think that it's nice to have a day in the year besides your anniversary where you can just have like a night to spoil each other. But these people didn't even do that. Like I said, I don't give a shit about gifts. If you make me a card with some stupid joke in it, I will be so insanely happy. I have told everybody from the beginning of time pretty much, if you just make me a drawing of a stick person and it has some stupid joke that we've made, I'll be like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. This is going into the Louvre. But these people didn't even do that. So take all that stuff, gifts, time, everything. The main thing I wanted to talk about today is yes, I don't love Valentine's Day. But it's not because of those reasons. It's genuinely 110% because for this holiday, it's not the stuff that I didn't get that upsets me. It's the stuff that comes up around relationships in general. Like for me, I think I'm a fairly good person. I try to be. I try to wake up every morning and I do the camping rule. I try to leave something better than when I found it. So whether it's somebody's mood or a park that I'm at or a friend that is having a kind of rough day, I like to try to make it better than when I found it. So, for this kind of holiday and everything, um, I just see kind of fake romance that really gets to me, where people will post the pictures and they'll post the stories of how they met and everything, but then like behind the scenes, it's not healthy. And as somebody that was in that last abusive relationship that I just had, um, it really sucks because now that I'm kind of out of it, and I know there are a ton of other people in this spot, you see the pictures, you see the stuff, and you kind of wonder, or maybe only I do this, I don't know, but you wonder, like, is that real? Like, are you actually happy with this person? Um, because I wasn't, and that last relationship I was in, it should have ended. First of all, it shouldn't have started because the person told me they didn't want to date me, and I won't let it go because I wanted to feel love. Um, but it wasn't love; it was complacency. Uh, but like besides that, they just they just were a very crabby person. And like I said, for some reasons I won't get into because they're very heavy, the relationship shouldn't have lasted more than a year and a half. But it did. It lasted another year and a half until our last fight and everything, which was literally New Year's Eve of last year, so January 1st, 2025. Um, but up until that point, I had let so many things slide, and I still kept posting the cute pictures and the cute, oh my gosh, I can't believe I met you 2 years ago, and blah, 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 because I was just so afraid to be alone. And as a sexual assault survivor, I don't want to speak for every survivor out there, but I don't know if it was a self worth thing, an abuse cycle, or what. I don't know what it was, but I was clinging to this person for dear life, like more than I have other relationships in my life. I don't understand what it was, if it was just coming out of COVID and everybody being extremely withdrawn and extremely isolated. I don't know if it was just me being like, finally, somebody like wants to be with me. Um, but I let it go on for so long. And when I see people during this holiday, I wonder, like, are you feeling the same way I did? Are you afraid to tell anyone you're feeling that way? Um, and then going back even just to the sexual abuse stuff, um, sex and love and emotions, they're all very heavily tied. I mean, very rarely do you see a romance movie without a sex scene because they're very integrated. Obviously, one is the chemical reaction, and one is the physical reaction. So they go hand in hand. Um, but unfortunately, you can't have sexual assault without sexual acts. So that can be a hard one for people too. And obviously, Valentine's Day, the ads are sexy and like the music and everything is like R&B and like everybody's like, everything is romantic. Um, but for like a survivor like myself, it can bring up weird stuff. I'm not saying that I'm sitting there cringing and hiding in my corner every time a rom-com comes on or anything like that. But like I said, you see all these couples that are maybe not great for each other, or you just see patterns and other things going on that you're like, you see it, you've been there. And for me personally as well, with the holiday coming up, I'm actually going to take um, a little social media break. It's not. I've had a couple people reach out to me and ask if it's about like the political scape of everything right now. It's not. I just have some personal stuff going on that I just don't really want to be on the internet for, and I am dealing with it. And I'm good, and I will be good. But like I said, if Valentine's Day is something that brings up not good things for you, whether it's because of an abuse situation, whether it's because somebody treated you like an option, whether it's because somebody treated you like I'm trying to be as careful as I can possibly say this. Kind of just like a living sex doll, and you kind of just don't love this holiday because of whatever reason. I'm sorry, and I genuinely hope that you find love in whatever way that looks like during this holiday, whether it's taking yourself out, staying in, reading a book, going to watch a movie, screaming into the woods and going feral. I don't know, whatever it is that you're going to do. I just hope you do it with love for yourself, because even if you're single, or even if you're whatever, even if you're in a relationship that you're not happy in right now, just keep in mind that you can change that. You can, leave that person. You can be happier. You can do all these things. Um, but if this weekend and this holiday, all you can do is just wake up and be there for yourself the best that you can, that's okay too. Um, I also do want to say, for all the people stuck in unhealthy relationships, you can break the cycle, absolutely. You don't need to stay with anyone because, well, Valentine's Day is coming up, and then we have this trip coming up, and then we have whatever. You don't need to justify it. If something stops feeling good and starts hurting more than it should, maybe, like I said, you don't have to stay in that. And sometimes it's hard to see that when you're in the cycle, like I was. But I feel very confident in the decision that I made to leave. Because, like I said, even though I'm alone on this Valentine's Day, I feel way less alone than I did the whole time I was with that person, um, and the other people prior. Because, yeah, I do love myself enough to sit with myself now, and that's something that took a lot of work. And if you're not quite there yet, that's okay. But I think you can get there. Um, and just know, even though I'm a random woman on a screen, you're absolutely not alone. And if you see this, feel free to reach out to me on any of my stuff, or even just in the comments. And I just hope you have a good holiday. And if you don't, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm here for you. Other than that,